Until the 1920s, we dismissed sleep as a productivity destroyer, claiming that people become dull with more sleep. We said sleepers are a dead horse who can't even pull a cart. Finally, science itself woke up by 1920. People who are surprised to learn that sleep is essential. It means that sleep is not a time for your body to rest. While sleeping, people are actually awake. Your body heals during sleep. Our brain squeezes out bad chemicals during the night's sleep. Hands, feet, and mouth work all day. And during sleep, our brain stays awake throughout the night to tidy up our own house. Surprise! The science of sleep is artistically hidden in the history of sleep. In this series of 3 video researches, today is the history of sleep. The next 2 will cover the science of sleep and easy lesson on learning your own sleep patterns. And the third one will focus on how you can improve your sleep quality and what is called sleep triggers. Why I am making this video? I see every day that without proper sleep, any treatment seems to fail. To start, let me first ask a few basic questions. Are your modern sleeping habits artificial? What is the secret relationship between Dr. Klitman, a sleep scientist born in modern Moldova, and Vasudev's Gita? Well, these are complex questions, more complex than you might think. Leave the complications. I have a simple question for you. What makes your morning sweet? A smoky Darjeeling tea or the cake from Flurries or Marks and Spencer's? However, the main reason for my good morning is a good night's sleep the night before. I guess not only for me, but for many people. A good sleep every night is a luxury. Yet, we all hope and pray for that every night. Statistics. Meanwhile, international insomnia statistics are enough to cause sleeplessness. Research shows that 4 out of 10 people over 50 suffer from sleep problems. Before reaching age of 60, 1 in 3 people start to think they sleep better alone. So, even if there is a partner at home, they might feel themselves alone in bed, hoping for better sleep. Whether this actually leads to better sleep is debatable. In India, 9 out of 10 adults sleep less than they need, and 1 in 20 suffer from sleep disorders. However, keep in mind that this data comes from a market survey by a multinational company that sells specially sleep aids, so take it with a pinch of salt. We don't need to split hairs over the accuracy of the data, but these figures give an idea of the magnitude of the problem. It is also found that women in Indian subcontinent suffer from sleep deprivation more than men. Lack of sleep can adversely affect not only the individual and their family, but also the social and economic health of the country. Long-term sleep deprivation can lead to chronic physical and mental problems. There is mounting evidence that lack of proper sleep increases the risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, obesity, and heart problems. If you don't sleep well, the fight against these diseases becomes more difficult. Cappuccio's research in 2010 shows that both too little and too much sleep are equally harmful and increase human mortality. Before we delve deeper, let's take a step back. It is jokingly said that everything is there in the Vedas. Although there is no chance to verify this, Gita is quite particular about sleep. In the Gita, chapter 6, verse 16 clearly shows that adequate sleep is necessary even for the hardy forest-dwelling yogi. Lack of sleep also hinders a yogi's success. Scholars explain that not sleeping at the right time can lead to tired eyes and minds in time of danger. The consequences are dire. However, in the same Gita, I find mention in chapter 18 and verse 39 of the sleep of laziness or the sleep of an intoxicated person is not pure sleep at all. The sentiment is also echoed in Kalidasa's Kumar Sambhavam. Kalidasa wrote that the body and mind are the weapons for the protection of humanity, and if sleep is not respected, both body and mind will suffer. I'm not an expert on Gita. I have not even had the chance to read the authentic Kumar Sambhavam. I hear all this from very many elders found in twists and turns of life. Although we spend most of our time sleeping, there is still not much modern research on sleep. Whatever little has been discovered is enough to make me stunned. The first scientific reference to sleep is found in the writings of Aristotle. He believed that sleep is means of renewing life. Then centuries passed. Science spent snoozing on the subject of sleep. So let's go deep and deeper. Is our modern sleep pattern artificial? People's sleeping habit has been systematically altered since Industrial Revolution. It was during that time that the idea of having 6 straight hours of sleep began. Let's take a look back at the history of sleep. The earth is around 4.5 billion years old, and humans have been around for at least 2.5 million years. Excluding the recent 400 years, people have been sleeping almost all night. For the remaining 2,499,600 years, this sleep was not a single uninterrupted stretch either. Night sleep was mostly divided into 2 or 3 parts. There are countless examples of segmented sleep throughout the history. Robert Ickesh, a researcher at Virginia Tech University in America, has revealed how artificial modern sleep habits are. A decade and a half of searching through historical records led him findings that were enough to give him sleepless nights. Subsequent research worldwide strongly supports Ickesh's findings. For as long as humans have recorded sleep patterns, human sleep has never been monotonous. Our ancestors used to sleep for a few hours at night, and woke up a bit, and then sleep again for a few more hours. This mid-awakening period ranged from household chores to meditation, sex, or even stealing apples from neighbor's garden. Evidence of these can be found from Homer's Odyssey to the anthropology of ancient Nigerian people. Intermittent sleep was ingrained in our brains. Just 400 years ago, we began to forcefully change the sleeping habit of 2.5 million years. A night once monopolized by thieves and prostitutes began to be occupied by ordinary people in Paris. The first streetlight was lit in Paris in 1667. Ordinary citizens had more opportunities to work late in the night and to be safe on the streets. It is said that streetlights in Paris were lit to reduce nighttime crimes. Whether the crime rate decreased is debatable, but ironically, the number of pickpockets increased significantly. That's because people started gathering at night. However, people got the opportunity to work longer hours. Then the Industrial Revolution began, and people's night becomes even shorter. The need to shorten nights' sleep arose. Organized state and political pressure to get more workers on the shifts in factories began. Sooner or later, campaigns for allocating lesser sleep duration began appearing in various newspapers and magazines. Fragmented sleep was termed abnormal. It was promoted that uninterrupted sleep is normal because it ends in a short period. Even staying up at night became fashionable in Native society. Even in 1829, ancient medical journals urged parents to force children to change their sleeping habits. Instead of having fragmented sleep, we started to sleep at a stretch. We forgot how we used to sleep earlier. Today, many would find it hard to believe the concept of fragmented sleep even. The question of how justified is to break a million-year-old sleeping habit for fear of economic recession is debatable. Although hundreds of years of solid sleep habits since the Industrial Revolution have shaped many of our bodies and minds, many still can't get a solid night's sleep. Additionally, anxiety, tension, or stress often lead us back to the million-year-old habit of segmented sleep. That was about night sleep. What about afternoon sleep? By 1999, sleep scientists told us that human body's physiological clock instructs us to take a few hours of sleep during night as well as a few minutes in the afternoon. But can we get that sleep? Not at all. A little snack sleep in the afternoon. Who doesn't like it? Megasthenes in his Indica expressed satisfaction that Indians were just like the Greeks. Both nations prefer to sleep at noon. Ayurveda recommends a short rest in the middle of the afternoon as a cure for constipation, indigestion, and rheumatism. There used to be a notice in front of Mirza Ghalib's house prohibiting shouting at noon. In modern India, scope of afternoon siesta was the subject matter of election agenda. Former Deputy Chief Minister of Goa, Vijay Sardesai, once said that if he wins the elections, he will bring back the ancient practice of Konkonis taking a midday rest. So much about India. Now let's take a look around. The siesta in ancient Greece was also popular in 18th century. The Greek philosopher Schopenhauer spoke of the timeless joy of midday rest. The siesta of Italy, Greece or Spain is the modern beauty sleep or nap. And that is the same as Kailullah of Prophet Muhammad or the Nirvanic of Buddhist Dhammapadas. The key is to stay fresh. But if it is excessive, that is the reason of fall for Roman Empire as described by historian Evan Andrews. 8 reasons why Rome fell. The Scottish physician writer A.J. Cronin wisely warned that short afternoon rest should not turn into a long sleep. That will be the destruction of the health. Just as salt makes food palatable in small amount, too much salt cannot be allowed to cook. Same holds true for the sleep. American researchers Jerome Siegel, however, does not believe in this. He wanted to research in distant places of Namibia, Bolivia, and that unnamed country of Vanuatu. He said, we can only believe researches done in ancient places which are still virgin from modern lifestyle influences. After researching the sleep habits of the primitive people of Tana Island of Vanuatu, who are far from habits of modern civilization, he concluded that the rumors of afternoon sleep are all nonsense. Afternoon sleep is not required and never was a practice, apparently. We are good as we are. But it is difficult to say if his research is the last word. The question is if Mr. Siegel can reach the island with a laptop and modern researchers, are they really completely isolated from modern civilization? Evolutionarily speaking, most mammals take a nap at some point during day. Yet, in many parts of the world, it is not uncommon for children and adults to take occasional naps. So, there is absolutely no crime in slacking off little during the day. If you are too sleepy during the day to work, then learn to close your eyes with an alarm for a few minutes and think of it as a part of work. The small nap during day makes you stronger, improves productivity, but short sleeps at night is not effective at all. Why? Night sleep is rhythmic. To understand these concepts, you need to know what the Moldova-born mad scientist Nathaniel Klitman and his even crazier American student Eugene Osiriski discovered after night of sleepless sleep research. By 1930s, Dr. Nathaniel Klitman enlightened us on the rhythms between the sleep and wakefulness. He found out that if this rhythm is disturbed or if there is a lack of proper sleep, the physiological process of the human body are blocked. The alertness of the mind becomes dull. Sadly, Eugene died in a tragic road accident. Tired from day and night work of sleep research, Eugene sat in driver's seat and fell asleep in the moving car as he was returning home from hospital. These in the next episode, Signs of Sleep. That's all today. See you soon.